Look, all of Amberlynn's fans.
Is this video for sailing and entertainment purposes only? You're dang skippy it is.
That's with Karina Kaboom.
What's wrong with Karina Kaboom? She's a nice lady.
And since we had lived with Eric and Ricky. So that's where the whole wiping thing started, was when we were living with Eric and Ricky. And that didn't stop until the day we broke up.
Hello, my favorite girly pops. Today's video is all about Amber's member stream. I am a member, so I'm just going to tell you what I heard. So basically, before Amber's stream, she wrote this in her community page. Hi, I will be going live for my members for 2 hours at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on February 4th. If you want to join in, I highly recommend becoming a member of Stream Queens. I hope to see you there. Here's the link for all the hot tea, and trust me, there's enough for everyone. Well, I don't know. My Kermit is going to be the judge of that. Amberlynn, you ain't got no hot tea. And if you do, no one's going to believe it. And if you do, why didn't you spill it before? By the way, this statement that she made, never forget that she made this statement. She says she's not a drama channel. She says she doesn't like drama. Yeah, and my Kermits don't either. I don't really believe her about this hot tea and gossip. I think she would have revealed it before. I think she's just trying to, with that statement on her community page, I think she was trying to get people to join because obviously not enough people joined. My personal opinion, this is just an opinion, I think that she should open up her live streams, but she won't. So she's trying to create this mystique and this drama around it. Oh my God, I have all this tea and I'm going to spill it. Yeah, get a Kermit. Speaking of Kermits, here's my Kermit. Would you like to purchase one? I know my Kermits, the ones that live with me, are all about drama and tea and gossip. And if you'd like to purchase a Kermit, now you can in my game show host voice. I have some people like in my game show host voice, other people like whatever. Kermits, whatever. Anyways, if you would like to purchase a Kermit, now you can. Here is my affiliate link to do so. If you purchase one, please let me know when you ship so I could be excited for you. All right. Everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. Please don't go to these people's channels. Please don't leave them mean-spirited, negative, disparaging comments. Feel free to leave me a disparaging Kermit in the comment section. I'm sharing my opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. So this is what I heard in Amber's live stream. Right, so Amber's entire members live stream is mainly about Beck, and it is a response to Beck. I am a member of her live stream, so I can tell you exactly what I heard her say. Beck did release a Q&A video, questions that were sent to Mr. Snowflake on the day that Amberlynn actually live streamed. So her response to Beck is very disappointing. I'm going to say this right off the bat. She did publicly apologize to Beck. I mean, as far as it is public, it's just members only. She said that she is remorseful at the very end, and she said that she's very apologetic. Okay, so I just want to get that out there. She also says that reaction channels are lying about what she says there. Absolutely not. You are just so insecure in securing the bag, Amber, but more on that later. You're going to want to hear this. Okay, that is what she did say, but her entire filibuster on Beck is so disappointing and so awful. So it's basically like this. I'm sorry, but
Thanks for nothing.
And even somebody calls her out in the live stream and says, you're pretty much invalidating everything, all the mistreatment that Beck went through by you saying, I'm sorry, but. And that's exactly what happened. So let's just dive into this. She says that Beck should be allowed to share their story, but Beck is lying, straight out lying, and exaggerating about the things that they are saying about Amber.
Amberlynn did not shower.
These are the things that Amber verbalizes, straight out gives examples of where she feels that Beck lied in their video. She says that Beck is lying about Amber being 5'80" and being secretive about weigh-ins. And she says that Beck definitely lied about having to clean the choker stain from Amber's choker. Beck did talk in another video about how Amberlynn, she loves to wear chokers.
You knew that the chokers were leaving residue. Why would you continue to wear the chokers? Because you knew that Beck would wipe it off?
Clean Amber's stain from the choker that the choker left. Okay, so just right off the bat, this is what I have to say to this, all right? I don't believe that Beck is lying about anything because, in my opinion, watching Beck's videos, and I'll link Beck's videos and channel down below in my description box, watching their videos, there is so many things that Beck could have said about Amber and chose not to. They are still being respectful, but they are finally standing up for themselves. That's how I see it. And I think that's how the rest of the community sees it. All right. I never talk about Amber's weight. I'm just don't care about that. I don't judge her for it. I wish her all the best with it, or any of the food or any of the nonsense that she talks about over there on her channel. I feel people should judge her based on her actions. She is the one that's bringing this up, and I will only say one thing where I'm defending Beck on this. I think that Amber herself said that she believes that her weight was different than what she said. She said that she stopped weighing herself because she didn't want to know. Wait, this is a math channel, okay? So whether you were 570 or 580, there's no difference. As far as you becoming more secretive with the weigh-ins, that's exactly what you did to your audience, okay? Because I was watching back then. I'm not judging you for it, but it is what you publicly did. And more so than that, you admitted to doing that. You said you stopped doing the weigh-ins. How is Beck lying then? Also, Beck lived it with you. So I lived that whole lifestyle with you where they clearly saw that you were not doing this anymore. So how are they lying? There's proof right there in Amber's videos of what Amber said about her no longer weighing herself at that time, that you can see that Beck is not lying. If you stop doing that, Amber, and you've admitted that in vlogs, how is Beck lying about you being secretive? As far as the choker, I think that Beck is telling the truth. It's such an intricate detail. I think Amber's the one that's lying. Now, this is very, very interesting. She also says that Beck is lying about timers when Beck would go to visit their family. This is just honestly, I wish I could say it's unbelievable. Amber is lying about not setting timers. Amber, you have a live stream. It's called Have a Snack with Me. It was posted right after I did my Q&A with Beck, and Beck told me that Amber would set timers for them. This live stream, Amberlynn posted this live stream titled Have a Snack with Me. Go to this live stream. At 35 minutes and 20 seconds, she gets asked, did you set timers? Yeah, I did a couple of times. Yes, I set timers. Amberlynn has already admitted to setting timers for Beck on her live stream in August. Now she's saying she never set timers. This is a great example of why Amberlynn keeps asking throughout this live stream, why is it that people will believe everything that Beck says and not believe me? Because you're blatantly lying. You admitted to setting timers. Amber, I really, really, really hope that one day you give Beck more than a public apology. I think that you need to do a video listing all the horrible things you've done to them and apologizing for everyone. Okay? I honestly cannot believe how there is support for somebody who is blatantly lying. In this live stream, she clearly stated that she definitely set timers for Beck, now saying that she didn't. The proof is on her own channel. Go and watch it if you want. This is a very huge manipulation tactic. I'm going to tell you what Amber said in her live stream so you can understand how she uses language specifically and manipulates the narrative only most people could see right through. Let me explain. When Amber says that Beck is lying about the timers, what she's talking about is recently in this Snowflake Q&A video, Beck described how when they would go and visit their family, Amberlynn would demand that they would come back way earlier, like give them an earlier time to come back than when they wanted to. Or can you come back like earlier than needed, right? Than when Beck said they would come back. Okay, Amber isn't addressing that in this live stream. She's manipulating the narrative and using specific language and saying she never put timers when Beck went to spend time with your family. She's talking about a different timer issue where Beck was saying, like in another video that Beck did, like the Q&A that Beck did with myself, where Beck was saying, oh, she's putting timers. Amber, stop using language specifically to try to manipulate the narrative. Amber said that she was very scared and upset to be alone and didn't want to be abandoned and just wanted Beck to come back at the time that they agreed. That's not what Beck said, and that's not what's making Beck, that doesn't make it a lie. Amberlynn is just trying to use manipulative language and say, well, I never said that you can't come back at 10:30 if you were coming back at 10:50. I'm giving an example. I just wanted them to come back at the time that they promised. What are they lying about when it comes to timers? They said that you constantly put timers on them, and I believe Beck over you. And here's the thing. She says in the video that she says in the live stream that people see Beck as all good and Amber is all bad. And she's just trying to say that they both were all good and all bad. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason that people don't believe you, Amber, and the reason that they believe Beck is because Beck does not have a history of lying like you do. You've monetized so much content stating that you lie, and you lied for 2+ years about your ex-wifey. By the way, how about we talk about now? Amberlynn has lied for 6 months about Tommy's preferences. Her ex Tommy. Tommy admitted, Amber always knew my preferences. Amber, why did you lie about Tommy? Okay, so that being said, the main reason I think that people believe Beck over Amber is because we all who watched back then saw that Amberlynn was mistreating Beck, that she was saying terrible things about Beck during and after the relationship. We watched it happen live. We watched it happen on your YouTube channel where you edited it. And they are coming out with very intricate like stories that don't sound made up like your stories, Amberlynn. And maybe I just think you should just go and call FBI Frank. Maybe he'll compliment you on your following. Oh, by the way, in the live stream, she says that she's going to release all the DMs and she did say she doesn't think it's serious. So she's going to prove that FBI Frank really does exist, that he commented to her. She just has to remove some private details out of the text messages of the DMs, but she is supposedly releasing the FBI Frank DMs. Go ahead and release it. The idea that Amberlynn is still believing her own lie that the FBI cares about her comment section and couldn't find where she lives is comical. Go ahead and release it. So she said she's releasing that. She could come on here, all right? She says in the live, she could come on here and she could be like, well, Beck lied about this and Beck lied about that, but she will never, ever tell people what Beck put her through. Go ahead. I just want to say something right now, okay? Amberlynn, you are breaking the terms of service. Your community page post said, I have all this tea. Oh, I got all this tea. I got all this tea and I'm going to spill it. There's enough for everybody. That is called misleading metadata and misleading fraudulent practices on YouTube. You promised in a community page post that you were going to spill tea. I promise you, although Amber was very terrible to Beck and to her viewers in this live stream, there was 0 tea spilled. Why am I bringing this up? You are not allowed to promise things to members only and then not deliver, okay? Why did you make a fraudulent, misleading post on your community page post saying, I'm going to spill tea? She didn't spill any tea because she doesn't have any. I will always be a drama channel. And I am saying this as a drama person that's been doing content about dramatic topics for years. She did not spill any tea in this video, in this live stream, because she doesn't have any. And you breaking the terms of service and promising that you will is just on you. Okay, it's just on you. Now, let's continue with the Beck slander, okay? Listen to this. Her, audience, the people that were in the live stream say, why don't you read out our comments? We're paying to be here. And she didn't read out the majority of the comments in the live stream, right? Why am I bringing this up? Why do you care? Because she purposely reads out the following comment, okay? Beck's reason for bashing you is money. Why did you read that out, but you didn't read out a lot of supportive comments that you got? So that is what she is trying to say, in my opinion. Okay, next, Amber asks, why is Beck lying and talking about my mobility and talking about my lack of hygiene? And I'm just sitting here like,
Amberlynn did not shower.
is them talking about your mobility and that is supposedly sense or whatever. Is that in the room with us? Because it didn't happen. I watched Beck's video on their channel like everybody else. And I can tell you that at no point did they mention anything about Amber. What are you talking about? Also, I just want to say something from my own personal experience with Beck. When I spoke to their fiance and when I spoke to Beck, one of the main things that we discussed was that we were never going to talk about that topic. And I'm not going to show you the emails. That was a big thing where their fiance was so respectful and Beck was so respectful, saying that they did not want to talk about, disrespectful or AKA uh, despectful, and we never did. At no point did Beck talk about personal hygiene. Like, what are we talking about? Okay. Like, this is outrageous. Then she's upset that Beck said, well, if Amber was able to do more, she would be, more, would do certain things to me like that were like bad. Then, okay, after she says this, she brings up Destiny and she's like, remember, Destiny told you that her mom did all these things to me. Amberlynn, Destiny also said about the Code Red situation where there was a bottle of soda, so like, Amber, Beck was sharing their opinion, and Beck said no, but I always wondered if she could be, if she was able to do other things. So what? You have been shown to do that to other partners, such as Casey, such as Crystal. For those of you that don't know, Amberlynn did admit to doing these things to Crystal. I think it was like on Ask FM or some like Q&A that she used to do a long time ago when there weren't so many eyes on her. So when you bring up these grievances with Beck, like how dare Beck say this? This is their opinion. How dare you mistreat them and all of your other exes? You couldn't even keep Tommy, a person who was interested in you in various ways. So is it possible that you're the common denominator and not Beck and not all your partners? All right. Okay, there's a situation that happens where Amberlynn manipulates the narrative about the litter box. Be very clear. In Beck's video that they released, they said that when they first met Amberlynn, Amberlynn lived in a place where there was a special room where Amberlynn would not clean her litter box. And the situation that goes in the litter box was on the floor and on a bed.
Whenever we first got together and I would visit, there was this room upstairs where the litter boxes would be, but it also had an extra bed in it. And the litter box was just so, it needed cleaned so bad that there was bed and on the floor.
When Beck first met Amber, not when they lived together, when Beck first met Amber, so Amber was single. Remember, Destiny dumped her, moved in with Dana. Amber was living alone. Amberlynn gets asked about this. She gets asked. She said, people say, did you not clean the litter box? And this is how Amber manipulates the narrative because she doesn't want to admit how she mistreated her animals when she lived alone by not cleaning up after them and living in terrible conditions. Your animals should have been taken away from you. Here's what Amber says. She says, when I lived with Beck, did you notice the difference? Nobody asked you about what happened when you lived with Beck. People asked you about what Beck said. Beck said, when you lived alone, when you were single, when your animals were your responsibility. Beck saw a room in your house when you were single, darling, that had all that, okay? Now, Amber says, when I lived with Beck, Beck did all of the cleaning duties for the litter box. I could not clean it when I lived with Beck. And how do you all expect me when I couldn't even shower or do anything and clean myself back then to actually clean the litter box?
Bland chili confirmed.
We're clearly asked about a time when Beck first met you. When they first met you, okay, it was your responsibility in your house to clean up after your pets. You were not cleaning the litter box. You had a room where you were just throwing their waste around on the bed and on the floor. That is what Beck is talking about. And why can't you address that? Why are you talking about the fact that everybody knows that, yes, Beck took care of the litter box when they lived with you? That was different. Your pets were solely your responsibility. Cleaning up after them and not throwing their waste around on the floor, on the bed was your responsibility. When you were single, that's the time that Beck is talking about. So do you see how she completely changed the situation, manipulated the narrative? This is a perfect example how she manipulates the narrative. She said she watched Beck's video. If you watched Beck's video, you know that they said about when you lived alone, it was your responsibility and your animals were living in, honestly, filth. And you know what? for you to manipulate the narrative like that. By the way, I'd like to respond to the manipulation of the narrative and say this, Amber. You know why people believed to a certain point, not everybody, a few people believed that when you did live with Beck, you were cleaning up after your animals? Because you excessively said that. You lied and said you showered, you lied and said you were cleaning up, and you lied and you said that you were living your life like everybody else. That's why people believed you. So don't come at your audience now and say, how could you think I could do anything? Because you told us that you could. Why should we be the victims of your lies? You told us that you could. So I wanted to get that out there, how she completely manipulated the litter box situation. You had a room full of waste when you first met Beck, and you were not taking care of your animals. The fact that Beck took care of your animals when they, I guess, became their responsibility when y'all lived together is not what you were asked about. And that right there is how she thinks she gets away with manipulating the things that people expose about her. Not today, darling. Not this time. What bothered me the most about what she said about Beck is this. She said that Beck is embarrassing her, and pretty much it's very embarrassing to talk about this, what happened to like Amber in her relationship with Beck. It was a long time ago. It was like 5 years ago or whatever years ago, and they were together for 4 years, and she's like, I'm really embarrassed to do this publicly. And she does say that it's all for money. She does say that Beck is doing this for money. And she says, like, pretty much like, why should I talk about what happened to me publicly? She does say that she feels bad for what she put Beck through, but like, that's why I wanted to give full disclosure. She says she's very sorry, and she says she feels bad for what Beck put what she put Beck through. But I just want to be clear with my opinion, and this is just my opinion. Beck, I think she's lying. I don't think she feels bad at all, and she cries throughout the live stream because she's been exposed, not because she feels bad. Her whole thing is, poor me, I'm the victim. Now, here's what made me really upset for Beck. She says about Beck, like, how could Beck do this? Pretty much, how could they, like, I'm paraphrasing, expose me publicly like this? Why should I have to answer about what happened privately, like publicly, and all this other stuff? Amber, you humiliated and embarrassed Beck numerous times. Do you want an example? Amberlynn, way after the breakup, she was way deep into her relationship with Wifey, went on YouTube and made a video titled How She Proposed, in which she told a very embarrassing story about Beck. Now, the story in and of itself, like what happened there, is not embarrassing, but Amberlynn knew that it was a very private story, and it wasn't just like a basic proposal, okay? It was a very private story that Amberlynn decided to put out there, and her response was, well, it happened to me. I was also in it. Great. Do you not think that maybe Beck wanted to keep your proposal with them, like, maybe private? Because I promise you, well, I'm not going to repeat it, it's a very private story. Amber decided to blast it on the internet. Do you not think, Amberlynn, that you publicly embarrassing Beck by saying that they were the worst date you ever had, by constantly talking about them, by, you know, saying the most outrageous things, continuously saying in live streams that they lied, saying that they never really traveled. These are all things on Amber's channel and Instagram. She said before that Beck never really traveled anywhere except for their sister's backyard. Like, continuously debasing and degrading Beck throughout the years on your channel, making statements about their superficial things. Recently on Instagram, I'm going to try to insert a screenshot, them, like, Amber debasing Beck, Amber embarrassing Beck, and saying certain things about superficial things. You know what I'm talking about. Like, why was it okay for you, Amber, for 4 years straight, while in that relationship, publicly to embarrass Beck, discuss certain superficial things about them? Why was it okay for you to embarrass Beck, saying that people are trolling them if they want to be involved with them romantically? Well, she says that she's upset that Beck has decided to embarrass her with lies and exaggerations. And why should Amber be answering this publicly? Because you embarrassed Beck publicly for a very, very long time, and you continue to talk about Beck when they asked you repeatedly to stop talking about them. By the way, she says something very interesting. She is disrespectful enough to bring Beck's mom into this. Oh yes, and says, oh, reaction channels are now only on Beck's side, but they never liked Beck. And reaction channels, this is why reaction channels like Alexis now, but when Alexis was my friend, they didn't like her either. And she brings up the GoFundMe that happened for Beck's mom, and she's like, all the reaction channels were like against that whole situation. But listen to me very carefully, Amberlynn, okay? Listen to me very carefully. Because I know, of course, you don't watch me. You have no idea. Amberlynn doesn't watch me, but she knows every single thing I say, so it's amazing. I love it when magic gets involved. This is a math channel. So Amberlynn broke the TOS. I'm not going to say how. I usually do, but I can't here, okay? Because there's certain things that you sign a contract with YouTube. I'm going to tell you this. You do sign a contract with YouTube. When you click agree to monetize your content, there's a whole contract. And YouTube asks you not to talk about a certain topic. There's one topic that they ask you not to ever bring up, okay? So I won't bring it up here. But I will say, in that GoFundMe video that Beck and Amberlynn did, Amberlynn broke the TOS and she mentioned something that you're never, it's like there's one big rule. You're never supposed to talk about it. She talked about it. So she deleted the video. She had to because she could get her whole channel taken down. It's like the one thing that YouTube asked you not to talk about, she talked about. A thing on this. You are incorrect. When people disagree with Beck, they say it all the time when they are reaction channels. They do. They do say it when they disagree with Beck. So your idea and your narrative that you're trying to serve, that people only like Beck because now they're against you or whatever in your mind, it's not that they're against you. It's that they're telling their story of being in an in a mistreatment situation. They were mistreated by you. And that type of relationships and getting out of them, it has every right to talk about it. No, reaction channels do not suddenly like Beck because Beck is speaking out against you. Reaction channels have for a long time said whatever they didn't agree with Beck. You're just trying to serve your own narrative. The live stream goes on. Amber keeps mentioning that Beck is, revealing the dirty laundry when Amber has done nothing but reveal her dirty laundry with Beck and embarrass Beck throughout all of her live streams, throughout the relationship, everywhere. After Beck extensively asked, don't talk about me. And it's actually interesting. Amber says like, oh, well, I could reach out to Beck and like offer like a private apology, but Beck told me, you cannot talk to me or about me, but you trashed them for 5 years and now you want to respect their privacy, right? You know why she wants to publicly apologize to Beck now, in my opinion? This is just my opinion. Because I think that maybe deep down inside, she thinks that if she publicly apologizes to Beck, Beck will stop talking about them. Only when Beck is probably ready to finish telling their story. Also, Amber keeps saying throughout the video, I take accountability for what I did. I take accountability for what I did, but they're lying. I could come on here and say they're lying about this and that, but they are exaggerating. She always says this. She said that Destiny was lying. She said that Casey was lying. She says that all of her exes are lying. So it couldn't be you. It couldn't be you, the person that has a large history of lying. So she keeps saying, but. And somebody tells her in the live stream, when you say, I'm sorry, but, it's really invalidating everything. And she says, no, it's two different things. It's not two different things. You know how I could take you seriously? If you came on here, said everything that Beck said about me was true, I apologize greatly. I am so sorry. I will never do that to anyone ever again. Then maybe people could start to rebuild their relationship with you. And that would be a genuine apology. Your apology is not genuine. Amber's apology, in my opinion, is not genuine because she keeps saying that all of her exes are lying. Destiny's lying. Beck is lying. She basically said, oh, Beck, I apologize, but you're lying and exaggerating about everything. No, they are not. They're not. If you are so upset that, because she keeps saying this happened 5 years ago, 7 years ago. She says that she's a totally different person now. She's a completely different person. She's totally different. Why are you embarrassing me? Well, you embarrassed Beck throughout all of these years when you claimed that you were a different person. See, here's how I know you're not a different person right now, Amberlynn. You continue to humiliate Beck all throughout this year in someone else's live stream, on Instagram, bringing up their mother on Instagram, talking about superficial things about them, on Instagram, saying they were the worst date you ever had. Why did you continue to humiliate them and embarrass them this year if you changed so much? There's your proof that Amber didn't change. Amber said all these terrible things and did all these terrible things to Beck this year, but she says she changed. There's your proof that she didn't. Also says that she wants understanding and fairness. Where was any of this for your ex-partners? Where was the understanding and fairness this year, the year that you said that you changed for Beck? Why did you continue to embarrass and talk about them? Also, she says she's not going to defend herself, and she's not going to stand up and, to people that are already like have their mind made up. She could defend herself, but she won't. Amber, the reason that you can't defend yourself is because you are lying. You are wrong. Like, you're wrong in the situation. Like, she gets asked this question, another thing that she gets asked about Beck. She gets asked, why did you not understand that you controlling Beck's time was like bad and controlling? And she blames it on BPD. Amber, you cannot blame everything on everything else. That's not taking accountability and responsibility. Here's an example of taking accountability and responsibility. I did wrong. I will never do it again. I learned from it. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. That's an example. Amber literally says, I'm sorry that I gave you, like trauma, Beck, but you exaggerated everything. She also says, like, this is what Amber literally says in her live stream. Why are people believing strangers on Jordy's live that say that they knew me and Tommy instead of believing me? Why are you believing strangers over me? I would literally believe anyone over you because you have a very definitive history of lying. You tell us that you lie all the time. Also, Amber, why should we believe you? She says something like, oh, well, I defended Tommy all this time. You lied about Tommy all this time. For 6 months, you said Tommy didn't have this preference, but Tommy did. Tommy recently said on Instagram, she did have this preference. There's some people in the live stream that tell her, I would love it if you would prove people wrong, Amber. And Amber says, I don't know how. The reason that she doesn't know how is because she is wrong. To the person that said this, she can't prove people wrong because they're right about her and she's the wrong one. I'm going to tell you something. She gets asked this question in the live stream. What's your advice to like deal with like a large group of people like calling you out or something like that? I'm paraphrasing. So here's my advice. She couldn't give you any advice, but I will. When a large group of people dislikes you and they're wrong, listen to what I'm about to say. This literally blew my mind when I found out about this and I understood. When a large group of people dislikes you and they're wrong, they will dissipate over time. And their voices will always be much quieter than the people that support you. When a large group of people dislike you for no reason, or just because like they think that you're annoying, they don't like your videos, for example, they will never be able to win against the people that love and support you and against the truth. Here's what I want to say about this topic. The truth always comes out. People always see the truth. Even if the truth comes out in 10 years and 20 years, the truth can never be changed. That's if you take anything away from this video, take this. And this goes for Beck and Amber and for everybody. The truth can't be altered. Everybody knows what it is. And even though some people take a very large time to come to the truth, if a large group of people don't like you, if they're wrong, they're going to be proven wrong and people are going to see that they were BSing about you. That's my advice. Amber is upset that Beck is doing everything for the money, according to Amber. Amber, you did everything for the money. You completely revealed their private information throughout your YouTube career. You posted everything online, everything about their life during your relationship, and you monetized them afterwards. You're still talking about them. I want to say something. I think it's okay for Amber to respond to Beck because I think a lot of people wanted her to respond to Beck, but she could have chosen not to. She still wants to be all up in the drama. Amber lives for the drama. Without the drama, what is Amberlynn Reid's channel? So I think, Amber, that you are not actually taking real accountability. If you were crying and you apologized and you said you were sorry and you didn't say, I'm sorry, but Becca's lying and exaggerating, doing it for the money, then I would believe you. But your apology is not genuine to me. Those are my thoughts and opinions on it. Let's talk about the rest of her live stream. The things that she said are interesting, but there's no tea spilled. Here's what I want to talk about first, now that we're getting just to her live stream. So, Amber says that she has 245 members. Okay. Then she gets asked how many are watching. She says 103. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt right now and say that that's true. I don't know if she's being honest about having 245 members, but she only got 100 or so to watch. All right. This woman has 200,000, 244. All right, 244,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. And the only amount of people that paid was 245, according to her. Amber, are you not scared that if YouTube doesn't work out for you and you go to any other paid platform, you now know that no one will pay for your content? Not even I for sure thought that she would have at least 500 people as her members. I thought maybe 1,000, but probably not, because I know, like, look, Amber, how come you're getting 30,000 views per video, but you only got 245 people to pay you $10 a month? Half of those people are there for not for the right reasons. They're either reaction channels or just people that are not there for the reasons that I would say Amber would want them to be. So in conclusion, in my opinion, you have 103. I would say, let's just say, to be fair, I'm just going to give, this is a math rounding up channel. Maybe it's rounding down. 100 people that like you on YouTube. So you said that you get all of this massive support. What she says exactly is that, as always, people are afraid to support me publicly in my comment section. Amber, I have news for you. People that are afraid to support you, what are you talking about, honey? What are you talking about? If someone genuinely loved you, they would write it down. They would scream it from the rooftops, okay? So she says that people cannot publicly support her, but privately they do, right? Okay, so here's a perfect example, because she says this in this live stream. Amberlynn is saying that she has all of this private, massive support in her DMs. Then why is it that only 100 people show up to your live streams? You have like 14, 16 likes on your live stream when I watched it. And why is it that I mean, this is an opinion, but it's common sense. Out of the 245 people that joined, it's probably 100 people that genuinely like you. Now, I know somebody will say this in the comments if you make it this far in the video, so I'll say it for you. I understand that joining isn't free and you have to pay money. So I will give her this, okay? Maybe she has another 100 supporters, all right, that really wanted to join and support her, but they couldn't, because they could not pay the $10 a month, which I understand. So I will even give Amberlynn this. Amberlynn has, let's just say, 200 people that genuinely like and support her on YouTube. Out of the 31,000 people watching, out of the 200,000 people that are subscribed, Amber, by mathematical definition alone, you've exposed yourself, okay? She doesn't even realize that she exposed herself. Out of your very large audience, I will even give you this. 200 people want to support you privately. That would upset me if I had a career on YouTube, and I will tell you why. Because in these live streams, no one can see them except the members, and people are not really getting that much opposition to support you in these live streams because the majority isn't seeing the live streams. So why couldn't they even support you privately? Why couldn't 1,000, 2,000 people love you so much? The reality is Amber is lying. She doesn't get as much support as she claims. Yes, there's people support her, the 200 people that we can give her the benefit of the doubt from. She then says something very, very, very interesting, you know, about reaction channels. She gets asked, oh my God, is anyone stealing your content? And she says, no, they're narrating it. And then she says, reaction channels are lying and twisting my words about what I'm saying in these live streams. And then as she's talking, she says, I know there's just some reaction channels that are going to twist my words about what I'm saying in my live stream. Now, wait a minute. She also says in this live stream that she absolutely doesn't read comments and has not watched a single reaction channel. She's not watching reaction channels. By definition alone, she's lying. Amber, do you know how to lie? Maybe you should Google how to lie, because you're not doing it properly. So she just told you that she's not watching reaction channels anymore. She doesn't know what anyone is saying, not reading the comments, but said that she's clearly been watching, obviously. Where'd you get that from? That reaction channels are twisting your words. So obviously she just exposed herself again, saying that she does watch the videos that reaction channels are making on her live streams. Okay, so as you know, Amberlynn is still obsessed with herself through reaction channels, still watching. Thanks for lying. Like, I have to tell you something. I have only met one person in my life that lied and immediately got caught knowing that they would be caught immediately. So, Amber, you're in, an interesting company. Let's just say that. Like, it's very rare to find like a person that continuously deceives that knows they will be caught immediately, but they still do it. There you are. There you go. She was caught immediately. Now, she says something interesting. She says if people keep lying about what she's saying in the live streams, she's going to make them public. There's only one reason that she would want to make these live streams public, and I knew that this day would come. She's not making any video views on these live streams. She's missing out on a very large amount of money. And that's what it is. She's not making any money. I think you are desperate for the money for taxes that you don't have. That's my opinion, not a fact. I think you're getting the money ready for taxes of what you're going to owe, darling. And that's why you did these memberships. So when you put your videos on members only, she's only getting 200. Well, not even, never mind. She said she had 100 viewers. So maybe 100 and something views from YouTube. So she's not going to really get paid anything for that. And if they were in public, she would get paid. So good job, Amber. Okay. She says that her animals are still not microchipped. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I just want everybody to understand that she did not microchip Twinkie and Wasabi when Rarity ran away. When she was in Wisconsin. She did not. And she's been back for months and she still hasn't done it. I don't believe she will do it. I think that she would be happy if, this is just an opinion, if her animals ran away so she wouldn't have to take care of anybody. Why are you this negligent? Not only did you have a room full of waste in the past where your animals were living like that, that's no way to live. Like, for an animal, that's terrible. How dare you? And now you refuse to microchip your animals, constantly saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Look, she gets asked, what are her plans for the weekend? She doesn't have any. She gets asked, what are your plans for February 14th? She doesn't have any. I'm not judging her for that, but what I will say is that she clearly has enough time to microchip her animals, right? And chooses not to. What a wild surprise. She then talks about Shrimpgate, and she says that she only lost 10,000 subscribers overnight because it was like mob mentality, and people definitely did not want to unsubscribe because she got all those subscribers back. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what are you talking about? People unsubbed from you because you were doing a mukbang, and it wasn't because you ate the shrimp. It was because you said that your audience is not your boss, is not your mom, and has no say in anything that you do. And people did not unsubscribe and then come back because they weren't serious. You eventually regained subscribers because you got a whole new audience. She still has learned zero from Shrimpgate. She also gets asked, listen, this is very, very interesting. It shows her true intent. She gets asked, why can't you just do vlogs for members only? And she's like, because it gives me anxiety for people not to see, for all people not to see my vlogs. If that's not a load of Kermit, I don't know what is. Ambi, can I call you Pookie? Always remember, karma is a Kermit. So it absolutely does not give her anxiety, common sense, for some people not to see her vlogs. You know how I know that? Why doesn't it give her anxiety for only 100 people to see her members only streams? What's the difference between members only streams that only 100 people watch versus members only vlogs? Here's the answer. If she did vlogs that were members only, she would not be able to pay her rent. She needs everyone, including the bill payers, the haters, bill payers, to actually watch it. Amber, you are so transparent. It's amazing. So she blocks somebody in the live stream, and she said, I'm going to save you $10 a month. So you can see that she's desperate for money, but refuses to leave her hug box. She also does an intermission during the live stream, which is fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. But then she goes, oh, I was just vlogging during the intermission. I am here to say that I've watched a lot of vloggers. That is not an example of a vlog. It's honestly, I don't want to say that I feel bad for her, but I really feel for you on a basic level, Ambi, that you don't even want to take into consideration that sitting in your apartment, taking out your phone and saying, hi, I am live streaming right now, you guys. I'm having so much fun. Come join Stream Queens is not an example of vlogging. That is not what vloggers do. Main things that she keeps saying during the live stream is her words are going to be twisted and reaction channels are lying, and see, isn't it great? Like, reaction channels are lying, Beck is lying, all her exes are lying, she's the only one telling the truth. Your fake taking accountability doesn't mean anything when you say these things. Reaction channels are literally relaying what gets said in the live streams. Nobody is lying. And opening up these live streams, oh, I can't wait until you do that. You do it. You go and do whatever you want, Amber. That's great. Okay. So she gets asked about the person that DM'd her about Tommy. You know, there was a person that had written like a comment on Tommy's Instagram, and Amber flew into a jealous rage and DM'd them immediately. Remember, she's not on Instagram, right? She doesn't go on Instagram, but she knew that somebody wrote Tommy a comment on Tommy's like picture on Instagram as soon as they wrote it. But Amber says she doesn't really use Instagram like that. Right. You're lying. So she gets asked about this person. She says the person is a cloud chaser. Amber, you and Chantal clearly have been talking behind the scenes. Do you know why I know that? Recently, Chantal has been going after Beck over and over and over again, right? Okay. And she's been using the term cloud chaser for Beck, which is not true in my opinion. All of a sudden, Amber gets asked, and she just by magic, I love it when magic gets involved, uses the same word for this person that wrote a comment. How is that person a cloud chaser? I don't understand. By writing a comment to your ex. Okay, so obviously Amber's just really mad that all her DMs get released, and she actually says that. She says, why is it that people immediately release my DMs when I write the DMs to them? Because people, as they should, and I'm going to tell you why. You try to pretend that you're one person on the internet, but secretly you are stalking out all your exes, stalking everybody out, and you actually think that people are going to keep your secrets? No, you flew into a jealous rage over Tommy, your now ex. How dare somebody talk to Tommy, right? She then gets asked, are you upset that, everything went down the way that it did on Instagram, where Tommy pretty much revealed that they were probably not together? Like, she says that, she wishes Tommy would not post everything online, but everybody handles things differently. Do you know why she so deeply wishes that Tommy did not post that online? If Tommy didn't tell people that they were not together, Amber would get more views on her breakup video, but she didn't. At the time that I'm recording this, she got like 30,000 views. It's all about the money, okay? She also seems very happy, like, with the exception of, listen to what I'm going to tell you, with the exception of when she's fake crying for Beck, whatever. She seems very happy, and people are like, are you talking to somebody new? She's like, no, I'm masking. I'm disassociating from what's going on. Usually when a person does that, they're not aware of it. Amberlynn is clearly talking to another person. It is so obvious that you're talking to another girl. She gets asked this really interesting question, and we're going to end it on this. She gets asked about like the people that she likes to watch on YouTube. And she says that she likes to watch Alexandra Rodriguez. She has enough nerve to say that Alexandra, posts a lot of hauls, which, Amber, how dare you? You do nothing but post hauls, even when you buy 2 or 3 things, so you could write it off in your taxes, in my opinion. Like, how can she judge another YouTube creator for doing hauls? And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing hauls when she does hauls herself. This is my opinion. Amberlynn always wants to take down other women, and this has been really evident. If you notice, she's obsessed with male reaction channels. She always wants to take down women, and she 100%, in my opinion, does not care for other successful women. And you trying to come for somebody because they do hauls, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And you do it yourself. If it's wrong for others to do, why is it okay for you? All right. That's about it for my recap of her live stream. Thank you all so very much for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed today's video, please check out a similar video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.